Hello and welcome back, all you 360 sports fanatics. We got another great show for you today. I'm your host, George Keane, with Banning and Bo Jacks. We got a really good show. It's a frenzy show, so we're talking about a little bit of everything.
Yes.
But where else can we start than with the NBA play-in, which begins tonight with some really good games. We have the Grizzlies and the Warriors and the Hawks and the Magic. What do you guys think about those matchups?
Yeah, I'm starting off Hawks and Magic. I mean, I don't know how good of a game this is going to be. I think I like Orlando a lot in this game. Their defense and their rebounding is really good. I don't like Okongwu in this matchup. But Trae Young, playoff Trae Young, I don't know. I think he could drop 40 tonight pretty easily.
Nice trade.
I mean, both of these teams are like the opposite of each other
Yeah.
because, like the Magic,
Yeah.
they don't score any points, but they're good on defense, and Atlanta is the exact opposite. I don't know if I can. I don't know if anyone here remembers the game where Luka dropped like 70 or something on him.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all remember that. I think this is going to be a really good game, though.
It is. Orlando's offense is like, I thought they're coming in, adding KCP is exactly what they needed, and
Yeah.
KCP has just not been what they needed. He
Mhm.
can't shoot the ball really that well this year.
Yeah.
I like Atlanta's offense. I mean, their offense is unbelievable. Ricochet is such a good catch and shooter for his first year in the NBA, but I do like Orlando a little bit more.
I like Orlando in this because in their season series, Paolo has gone over 30 points multiple times.
I mean, I think I like Atlanta as well. I mean, here's the thing. I think if Orlando plays their best brand of basketball, they definitely should win this game. I mean,
Oh yeah,
Paulo Banchero and Franz Wagner it's a really good duo in the NBA. And I think if you win this game, you're really a loser because I'd much rather play Cleveland in the first round than Boston. And so
Probably true.
Yeah.
whoever
Yes,
wins this
that
game
is
tonight is
true.
a first round exit for sure.
I mean, the Magic pushed Cleveland last year. I mean, this is a different Cleveland team,
Yeah.
but I mean, and this is a different Orlando team, definitely. But I mean, they pushed Cleveland last year.
Yeah, that was
to-
a 7-game series
Mhm.
last year.
If I'm the Magic, I think I would even tank this game tonight, win the
Mhm.
next game, play Cleveland in the first round. And I mean, yeah, Cleveland's better, but I think the Magic could have a legit chance if they're healthy, obviously, and KCP shoots the ball better. They can upset them. And obviously, I think the second really interesting game tonight with the Warriors and Grizzlies.
Yes.
These are two teams who I think a lot of people did not expect them to be in the plan. Taylor Jenkins getting fired obviously sent a shockwave to that organization. The Warriors lost a really heartbreaking game to the Clippers, which stopped them from getting a playoff spot. Which team do you guys think gets to win tonight and why?
I'm gonna have to go with the Warriors because the last
Yeah.
time they both played, it was Curry dropped 50 on
yep.
Memphis's head, and I think he'll do the exact same thing tonight.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Warriors are 22-5 when Butler and Curry play together. I mean, Butler has been a great addition to this team. He's brought the Heat team before to a finals. We know what Steph Curry can do with another star on the team and without one. So I think they're going to win this
Yeah.
game and break their 0-3 play-in
Yeah.
curse so far.
I agree. I mean, last time out, Steph 52. They smoked. I mean, they didn't smoke Memphis. Steph had a great, crazy game. Memphis has been pretty identical since they fired Jenkins, so that really actually didn't make a difference. Isolo, their new coach, was like highly touted in this market if he was going to be a head coach next year.
Yeah.
I think Memphis is really going to come out firing. I think they're going to be really energetic. Butler just played 48 minutes the other night.
And he might be
but-
hurt.
He might be hurt.
He might
He
be.
clashed knees with Kawhi, but I think in the end, Golden State's going to ride the storm. I think they're going to even out. I think they'll make it. I like them against Houston too.
Do you
We'll get
think-
into that
Me
later.
too.
So I was going to say, do you guys think whoever wins this game can upset Houston in the first round?
I think either of them
Yes.
have the potential to, but I think whoever loses this game against the Thunder, I don't think they have. I mean, the Warriors maybe have a chance because Steph,
Yeah.
Jimmy, playoffs. You can't
Sure.
really count that out.
For sure.
But I mean, it's a Thunder, so
And to be fair, we've never seen Steph and Jimmy in the playoffs yet.
yeah, we
And
have.
Yeah.
Butler in the playoffs is a different type of animal. So
No, I agree with you, though. I think the Grizzlies and Warriors are arguably both could take a series with Houston to 7 games and
Mhm.
honestly upset them. But the NBA playoffs are not the only set of playoffs that are going to be starting soon. We have the Stanley Cup playoffs as well. The NHL playoffs are beginning to take shape. A lot of teams are clinching their final spots. There's a couple wildcard spots still up for grabs. But who do you guys like in the NHL right now? Which teams are rising and do you think have a really good chance to capture the chip this year?
I don't know. I kind of think Florida, again, you can't count out a defending
Yeah.
champion until they're perfectly eliminated.
For
So
sure.
I don't know. I like them.
I mean, I agree with you. I think Florida is really strong this year. I'm interested to see the Capitals because they have been on a little bit of a skid lately. They're 3-6-1 in their last 10 games, which is not great. Obviously, Ovechkin
Mhm.
breaking the goals record is something is going to
Oh, yeah.
take
Yeah.
your mind, and you're really
Yeah.
focused on that and focused on him getting the record. But I'm interested to see if they can turn it around. Their best goalie, Logan Thompson, is hurt. He was one of the best goaltenders in the NHL this year. Protis, who also been unbelievable. I think he's second in plus minus the entire NHL this year, and he's a really young player who's been really good, but he's been hurt. So I'm interested to see can they get it together. Do you think the Caps have a legit chance to win?
No.
Wow.
No,
That was
no.
quick.
I-
That was quick.
Okay, just for all like disclosure, I am a Rangers fan, but and like I kind of have some things against the
Yeah.
Capitals,
Yep.
but I've loved them in the regular season so far. They have amazed everyone. They've blown expectations out of the water.
100%.
But I just don't feel like this team is
Yeah.
built for the playoffs.
It's hard to rely on this veteran, obviously this all-time great, but at his age, it's hard to rely on a player to go through a whole playoff series and a whole regular season. I mean, we see in basketball all the time, like LeBron is LeBron, but at the end of the day, like a 40-year-old doing what he's doing, you can't really depend on this to win a championship. Stuff, really.
I think if the Caps are forced to play a lot of long series, if every series is going to 6 or 7 games, it's really going to be hard. Because like you said, if Ovechkin, let's say every series wins 7 games, that's 28 more games on your schedule. That's very difficult to do. And plus, they're really young this year. I mean, they got swept in the first round last year. Was it to the Rangers? I mean, they got absolutely destroyed. They kept the coach. They brought some young guys up, and they were unreal this year. Again, it might not be this year. Maybe next year is the year they contend. But then again, Ovechkin really has a limited amount of time left. So if he wants that second chip and try to equal Crosby's legacy, I mean, this might be the best chance he has to do it.
I mean, one thing I will say about the Capitals is that Ovechkin, they have a couple of players who have won in 2018, and you said it yourself that there's a lot of young talent on this Capitals roster. So if Ovechkin and the other guys can bring that experience, I think they could go all the way.
For sure.
But I just don't see it happening.
Yeah.
Well, and in the soccer world, we also have a sort of playoff going on. The Champions League quarterfinals. We actually had second legs today.
Yes, we
Barcelona
did.
is moving on. They beat Dortmund. And then PSG is moving on after beating Aston Villa. What do you guys think about those matchups? Barcelona obviously lost today, and it's pretty interesting. They lost 3-1. Not a great game.
But I think they didn't really play their. I mean, I didn't watch the game. I didn't watch the game, but there's nothing to read into. I mean, they won 4-0 in the first leg. There wasn't much coming into this. I think they knew they already advanced coming into it. PSG, Villa. Ooh. Oh my God, Donnarumma saved them a couple times today. Asensio had a one-on-one that probably should have tied it late. And then late in the game, Maatsen volley on the edge of the box, and Pacho comes across and saves a goal in the last minute, which is unbelievable. I like PSG a little bit in the next round, but I can't like them a lot because I'm an Arsenal fan, and we just smoked Real Madrid. I mean, we play tomorrow. It's not over, but we just smoked Real Madrid 3-0 in the first round. My favorite day supporting this club, and that was unbelievable. I can't talk about it enough.
Do you think Real Madrid has any chance of coming back? I mean, obviously you're an Arsenal fan. I think I know what you're going to say.
As much as I would like to say they have no chance, they do. They have Mbappe. They have Vinny. They have Rodrigo. They have Jude. They have the best attacking players in the world. I don't know if they have the best attack in the world because these guys don't press. They don't really get behind the ball and run after it. Arsenal, they haven't let up 3 goals since Luton in December of 2023. And I don't think this is the day it's going to happen when Arteta puts 11 behind the ball on a low block.
I mean, Real Madrid playing at home is always dangerous, right? And I think, in the Champions League, they've had some crazy comebacks. They've had 3-goal comebacks, right? But this is a different team. Ronaldo's not on this team anymore. It's not prime Ronaldo. You have Mbappe, who, I keep calling him the best player in the world, but at some point you have to show it.
Yeah.
And I think this is a really big legacy game for Real Madrid. I think even if they go and they win 2-0, they can put their heads high. Obviously, it's a disappointing year, and I think Ancelotti's going to get sacked.
He definitely is.
Because this is obviously
he's not going to win a trophy this year.
Yeah, and 100%. For the money they spend, this is not what they wanted, right?
Yeah.
And exits against Arsenal. Arsenal's great. But obviously, Declan Rice scoring 2 free kicks, pretty unlucky.
Everyone coming into it, there's a reason why this was such a big, crazy thing in the world of football because Arsenal wasn't supposed to. I mean, maybe they beat Real Madrid in the Emirates, but 3-0 against this team when they're injured, they don't have a striker, they don't have their left center back. Declan Rice with a player, free kicks, 2 of them.
First 2 free kicks he scored in his career, which is insane for it to come on this sort of stage. Moving on, we're going to talk a little bit of trash today.
Okay.
We're going to talk about who we think the GOAT is in all of sports in trash talking. Jack, you're up first.
Right. I can't talk enough. If you're talking about a GOAT in trash talk, I'm giving him the setup here. But
obviously there's a lot of great players who can talk trash, but I mean,
this is the sport you talk trash in, and nobody does it better than the notorious Conor McGregor. I mean, he made his name off trash talking. Obviously, unbelievable fighter. He's a 2-time champ, so he could do what he wants. But I mean, that Aldo press conference to the Khabib press conference to the Mayweather conference, this was unbelievable. I mean, Conor McGregor's run as a fighter was unreal, but as a trash talker really made him who he was. He's got so many quotes. I mean, I can't say one here, but Conor McGregor. That's my opinion.
I'm not too familiar with Conor McGregor's game. But
What?
It mentally broke down Jose Aldo, who was one of the best champions of all time. 10-year run. It went in there, knocked him out with 1 punch. He broke him down before the fight even happened. That was the
There's
biggest
a
thing.
lot of UFC guys. Like Nate Diaz is a phenomenal trash talker. Like UFC is the sport where you trash talk in.
I feel like you have to be a trash talker in UFC.
Yeah.
Like, it's part of the
Yeah.
aura you
It's
have when you
about
enter
the
the-
mental too.
Yeah,
I mean,
100%.
half of it is mental.
100%.
So
But what do you got, Benny?
Well, keeping it with the combat sports picks,
okay.
I have Floyd Mayweather, obviously a guy that
Mhm.
fought against Conor McGregor. And the thing about him, one of the best trash talkers as well, is that he's a guy that backed it up every single time. I mean, undefeated, never lost. And the biggest thing in trash talk is being able to back that up. And this was the guy that did it. And he ran his mouth and got over $1 billion worth of endorsements and money in all these fights because of it.
Yeah.
I gotta say, I like Floyd Mayweather too. I even the name, like it's just like I don't know. There's some aura to it,
That's
Money
a fighter.
Mayweather.
right?
Money Mayweather,
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
Or 100%.
Yeah.
All right, Jack. Are we moving away from the combat sports now?
Yes, we are.
Okay.
We are moving away from the combat sports to a different one. Basketball.
Oh,
The
that's a good
OG.
pick.
OG trash talker and Larry Bird. He revolutionized the sport along with Magic Johnson, and the part of his aura, part of his like, I cannot talk about his aura enough as a human
Larry
being,
Bird, really?
but he is the OG trash talker. He's what led everyone. Like he basically birthed MJ, and now Giannis is getting into it. But he's the OG, and that's why I got to go with him as my GOAT.
I must not be familiar with Larry Bird's trash talking.
How are
at
you
all.
not familiar?
Uh,
No. He's definitely an
Is he?
all-time great when it comes to trash talking.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh my
Yes.
god, I legit had no clue. I can't look
He
at this
doesn't
man
look
and
like a
think
trash talker. I mean,
No, he does
doesn't.
not.
he doesn't.
Those are the type of guy who keeps quiet and shows up and drops 40
Yeah.
and says nothing. I don't know, but I mean, obviously, a great player, great trash talker.
Apparently.
Oh yeah.
I also went basketball, interestingly enough, but I went with the second greatest player of all time. Second greatest, not the greatest,
Facts.
Mr. Michael Jordan.
Facts.
Perfect.
Okay.
Michael Jordan, obviously, great player, 6 rings, 2 three-peats, but talking trash was also one of his specialties. One of my favorite moments is when he's at the free throw line talking to Dikembe, and Dikembe's jawing at him, and he's like, watch this. He closes his eyes, knocks down a free throw. I mean, that's pretty insane to have the confidence to do that. I mean, if he misses, he could probably just laugh it off. But the fact that he knocked down the free throw, that's something that I would do in like a rec game. You know what I'm saying? Like that's elite. That's elite stuff. His trash talk game might be better. He might be better at as a trash talker than a basketball player. But that's a conversation for another day.
Okay, that's definitely
Conversation
not.
for another day.
He's definitely
Yeah,
not.
but
I don't know about that.
I don't know about that.
I don't know.
There's a couple basketball guys like KG. I thought
Yeah,
someone would
KG
mention
yeah.
it.
is definitely up there.
And then I was almost picking Richard Sherman, like for
Yeah.
sure. I mean that whole
he's solid too.
Super Bowl era, the Crabtree, and then I saw a clip today. I didn't even see this ever. And Trent Williams like socked him in his face after a game and
yeah.
just ate it. That was ridiculous. I mean, there's a couple guys like I didn't think Larry Bird had this trash talk game.
You know, there's one guy. There's always one moment I think of too with Kevin Durant. I think he scored over Evan Fournier,
KD's a
obviously
good
a
one.
French
KD's
national
good.
team player.
He's a good one.
And he looked at him and he's like petit. I'm like,
Mhm.
okay, that's crazy. Using that guy's language to trash talking, I'm like, okay, like that's elite stuff. And plus, I mean, let's be honest, it's not really KD can shoot over anybody, but
I feel like we
still.
don't get these iconic like trash talk moments like we used to.
it's because the NBA gives you a
It
technical
is.
foul every
That
time you
is
do it.
true. Like
Which
Ant,
is-
Ant gives us some good ones, Ant Edwards. But like
Oh,
other
yeah.
than that, like I don't really. Giannis gave us a good one, but he's not really a trash talker. He's more
Yeah.
just goofy.
Well, you know
like,
what's
he's
funny?
just-
Did you see Giannis
that's
the other
what
night
Malik
with
Beasley said.
Malik
That's-
Beasley with
Yeah,
the
that's
dance?
what I'm talking
Yeah.
about. And then Malik Beasley's on Twitter calling him goofy and
Like, why so
getting mad.
serious? Like, why so? It's bad. Like, this
and they're
is good for the
teammates
game.
too.
Yeah.
So former teammates. So I didn't really get that.
Like, I agree. I think it's bad for the game when you take this stuff out. Like, I mean, back in this area, obviously Bird and MJ,
Yeah.
like they played really close together. I mean, like that's what made the era so good, right? Like the fighting with the Pistons and the trash talk. Like,
Yeah.
obviously we don't need
Yeah.
like, you know,
Insane, but
fight. Like,
a good amount. Like
you know,
rivalries.
We don't
make
need
the-
Draymond Green. Every player doesn't have to be
rivalries do
Draymond
make
Green.
sense.
But you know, it's good when you have rivalries. It's
Yeah.
good when you have trash talk, and I think it's better for every game. I think the NBA
100%.
part of the reason the ratings are so far down is because they don't allow it anymore.
Yeah.
100%.
So, but
100%.
moving on, continuing with the NBA.
Talk about the NBA.
First round is starting soon after this play-in tournament wraps up. A lot of good matchups. I'm really intrigued. The Nuggets Clippers is going to be great, I think. Lakers Timberwolves. I think that's a really, really good matchup for the
Yeah.
Lakers. I think they should take that series. Pacers Bucks and Knicks Pistons. Obviously, the 1 and 2 seed matchups are still not certain yet. But what are your guys' hot takes for the first round? Benny, we'll start with you.
Mine is I think that the Pacers are going to take down the Bucks. I think this series overall, I mean, they're more of a solid team than the Bucks, and I think people forget that they were in the conference finals last year.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean, in those games too, they lost that first game in overtime by
Yeah.
5 to the Celtics. Jaylen Brown hit an insane shot to even make it go to overtime. Then
Yeah.
they lost both games as well, game 3 and 4 by 3 points. I mean, that's
Yeah.
closer than most of the games the Celtics and Mavericks played in the finals. I think people forget how good this team is. Giannis has only played 3 playoff games since 2022.
I'm so upset
That's
at that.
crazy.
That
Like
was-
the Bucks haven't had a healthy playoff run since they won the championship. But I mean, I think you said the Pacers were going to win. I don't think it matters that Dame's out because we've seen. I think Giannis has been the best player in basketball over the last month. He's been
Yeah.
averaging a 30-point triple-double. He's playing point guard. He's been unbelievable. This is Giannis. He looks like a 2K player. I mean, I like the Bucks a little bit, but Pacers are a more complete team.
I
I mean,
feel
it's the second option is Kyle Kuzma.
I feel like it's difficult without Damian Lillard.
It
I
is.
think
It
the
is.
Bucks. I mean, I think the series. If Lillard doesn't play, I think the Pacers will win the series.
Mhm.
But I'm expecting he'll come back eventually.
I saw today there was a report out. I don't know if he's out for a series, but he is
Yeah,
out.
he's
for
out
the
for
series.
definitely
the
the
start.
start.
Yeah.
Definitely for the start. I mean, he's a really important player. He's a playoff player, right? You didn't bring
He
Damian
is.
Lillard in for the regular season. You brought him in for the game time moments, right?
Yeah.
Moments like he had against the Thunder and PG. I'm sorry, PG.
I mean, last year he was
Um,
having those moments too. It's just Giannis was out, and, and then he
100%.
got hurt. So I
Yeah.
mean, they didn't even have
Yeah.
Dame. They played with Brook Lopez as their one for the last like 3 games of the series last year.
But I definitely feel like this series is a 50-50 toss-up, in my opinion. I think both teams.
I don't know about that. I don't know. Okay, in their season series, Giannis has averaged 30 points, 12
Yeah.
rebounds, 7.5 assists,
Mhm.
and I looked this up. You guys can fact check it. Milwaukee has 8 players averaging double digits against the Pacers.
Mhm.
Well, let's
Siakam's
remember,
gotta
the Pacers like the
cut
Hawks.
out for him.
They don't play defense, but they score like 100.
No, this is a
And-
different Pacers team than what they
It
used
is-
to.
it is a
'Cause they have
different Pacers
Nesmith,
team,
they
I
have
understand.
Nemhard, they have Siakam's playing really good defense.
I mean-
Turner's an elite rim protector.
But still, like what they're gonna do is they're gonna get up and down the floor very quickly. And if the Bucks
Yeah, they
don't play
will.
good defense, right? Obviously, Giannis is a great defensive player, but Brook
Yeah.
Lopez is good, but he's kind of slow, right? He's gonna have to keep up and guard Miles Turner at the 3-point line because
Yeah.
Miles Turner is gonna shoot a lot of threes.
Mhm.
So I mean,
I want
don't
to see
know.
what KPJ does because he's been on fire for the Bucks recently. I don't know how much stock plays.
there's a lot of guys I don't trust in the Bucks. Like Kyle Kuzma's another guy.
That's
I
the
mean,
second option now.
Yeah, I know.
And
That's what I mean.
Is he really a good second option?
No,
he's,
he's
a
not.
fourth
He's not.
option, fifth option.
I mean, like you got rid of Chris Middleton, you get Kyle Kuzma. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. I've seen some pretty horrendous shots from Kyle Kuzma. Like, do I really trust him with the ball in his hands?
Yeah.
Not really.
Mm-mm.
the West is very interesting. The
100%.
West
The
has
West
like
is
every single
open.
matchup is
Oh yeah.
100%.
beautiful. I mean, Nuggets Clippers is one I want to start with because I think Jokic Zubac is an absolute dogfight down low. Obviously, we know Jokic is Jokic. Zubac's had an unbelievable season this year.
Yeah.
Clippers, I mean, they've surprised me. They have the scariest defense in the league. They have all these wings. They have Chris
Yeah.
Dunn, who's probably should be an all-defensive team, but doesn't qualify.
Yeah.
Only 3 games removed from Mike Malone's rough for the Nuggets, so I don't know how this goes. And the
Yeah.
Clippers have been red hot.
Yeah.
This is like a toss-up to me. I think this is my favorite series. That and the Lakers.
I think it has potential. I think it's gonna go 7 games.
I think it will.
Oh,
too.
yeah.
I think
When
it
you
goes
have a guy
6
like
or 7
Nikola
for sure.
Jokic, like no matter how bad the situation is in Denver, I think when you have a guy like Jokic, and the entire team revolves around him. And if
Yeah.
he's playing, then you have a chance to win. I think if Kawhi, every time Kawhi's been healthy in the playoffs, what have we seen?
Yeah, we
It's
have.
been a run every
Yeah,
single
but
time.
what have we seen the past couple years?
But
him
when is the last
getting
time he's
injured?
been into the playoffs healthy without a lingering injury going in, right? Like there's always something with Kawhi Leonard. It's like knee injury management. There's no injury management right now. He's playing every game. He played a
Yeah.
back-to-back like a week ago. He's healthy. And I think if Kawhi Leonard is healthy, I mean, he broke my heart in the Sixers a couple years ago. I think they could send Denver home. I think they could send OKC home.
Yeah, this is a 7-game
Yeah.
series for sure. It just has
Yeah.
that type of
Yeah.
feel. But
What's your hot
my
take?
okay, my hot take, it was gonna be that like the Bucks and them. I think they're gonna beat the Pacers. I just have that. I think Giannis is gonna go on a 2018 run, but
Yeah,
we've
I
talked
think so
about
too.
that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go another completely off the top of my head that I've been kind of thinking about. I didn't think it was hot, but is that
This
OKC
is-
is not winning a game in the second round.
I don't understand how you didn't
That
think
is
this was
okay,
hard.
I'm gonna
that
explain
is
it.
blasphemy.
Okay,
I'd like
listen.
to hear this.
In the playoffs, they don't have much experience. They don't have much experience, and in the playoffs, free throws and fouls, it's kind of
You
it
think
gets
they'll get
down.
swept?
See, that's crazy.
You think
I'm
OKC
sorry.
OKC
Okay,
is
if
like
you,
I'm
if you
sorry.
have okay, like let's
Sweat.
if this is if Jokic and Kawhi if they battle it out, I can understand the OKC maybe like winning a game or two. But if Nuggets and Clippers is like a really like easy series for one team, I kind of think that they would just overpower OKC.
I'm sorry.
OKC is a pretender.
That's one of the most outrageous takes I've heard this year.
OKC is a
not winning
pretender.
any games. And,
Pretender.
I don't even want to look up.
I don't even know what to say. I'm out of words right
I
now.
don't even want to look up.
You're talking about SGA. He's gonna finish.
The-
He's most likely
Are
gonna
you
win
talking about
MVP.
the guy that got blown out when he got no free throws?
Oh man.
He doesn't even get to the line that much, though. As
my
everyone
God.
says,
So here's an interesting
he-
stat. Listen to this. SJ would still lead the league in scoring if you took everybody's free throw shooting away. He would still lead the league in scoring. Like I hate to say it, I promise
It's
you,
not.
I
It's not a
don't
one.
want
It's not a one-person sport.
Yeah, but
It's
okay.
not. Yeah, but he has J Dub. J Dub hasn't been the second option. Everyone
It
expected
doesn't even
to, but he has
matter.
Chet.
Just chat.
He has.
Hartenstein has been
Hartenstein.
insane. Caruso off the bench.
And
They
even
have
without
shooters.
these guys, they've been able to win games. Even without, they've missed Hartenstein for so much time. They missed
100%.
Chet. They missed J Dub, and they've just been every time you expect them to drop off, and they've never dropped off. They've been this
100%.
elite team, this historic team.
I love the Thunder. I truly do. But
Do you?
I
Doesn't
really-
seem like it right
I've been,
now.
I've
You
been watching
really?
them. I just I don't know.
They
They
have the
just
best
kind of
defense in the league.
If you had said that they would not make it to the NBA Finals, I would agree with you.
If they
I
lose in
don't-
the second round, it's not like that's
If
still a
they
hot
lose in
take, but that's
7,
not
yeah.
ridiculous to say.
But saying that they're not going to win a single game, like SJ is not going to go get you one, that's crazy. I'm sorry. That's
I could definitely see it happening. I just mm-mm. I don't have that feel about him.
okay. I don't even know if there's anything.
I want
else
to
say
touch
about
on
that.
Lakers and Timberwolves because I
Yeah.
think this
That's a
series,
fun series.
definitely deserves to.
Yeah.
I mean, earlier in Rudy's career, he couldn't avoid. Oh my God, I'm blanking. Couldn't avoid somebody. Now it's Luca. He can't avoid. Every
It's
year
James
it's
Harden.
like James Harden. He couldn't
Yes.
avoid Harden. Now it's Luca.
Yeah.
Last year, Luca torched him in the pick and roll with didn't matter if
The
it was
game winner.
Yeah, he torched him
Oh,
in pick
yeah.
and roll. This year is different though because Jackson Hayes can't run the pick and roll nearly as well as Gafford or Lively can. Gobert's been pretty good offensively this year too, which is a bit worryful for the Lakers.
Is he ever good
Down the stretch, he
offensively?
just dropped 30 the other night. This is career high, which is funny, but he just dropped 30 the other night. It was against the Nets too, so it's
Yeah,
not
I'm not
crazy.
counting that.
It's not a
Yeah,
crazy good 30.
They're playing
I like the
Sixers.
Lakers in the end. I don't know how Randall plays because he's always this slumper in the playoffs.
He's terrible in the
always a
playoffs.
slumper.
Yeah, he's not good.
See,
in the playoffs at
every
all.
year.
Julius Randle is the one player. I look at the Timberwolves. I'm like, okay, this isn't even series. But then I look at the Timberwolves and I see Julius Randle's name, and I'm like, okay, this is exactly why you're going to lose the series. Julius Randle. There's a reason the Knicks got rid of him.
Yeah.
I will never understand trading away Karl Anthony Towns after being in the Western Conference Finals. They're going to lose this series, and Anthony Edwards is going to be like depressed, and he's going to ask for a trade eventually because no one wants to play in Minnesota with Julius Randle.
Yeah.
I just don't get it. I mean, there's few players that frustrate me more than Julius Randle. I mean, what is as a franchise? What are you doing? And you put him next to Gobert.
That's
Yeah.
trade still doesn't make sense.
Like,
but
I
we
just
have to-
I don't get it. And you know what's funny? Last year, the Mavericks and the Timberwolves were both in the Western Conference Finals. What do both of those teams do?
Yeah, I know.
Blow
They
it up.
trade away
Mhm.
Luka. They trade away Cat.
Yeah.
I just don't get it.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't make sense to me. And I'm really interested to see like if the Timberwolves end up getting like out in 5, getting swept. I think Anthony Edwards is gonna have a
Yeah.
conversation with the front office like, you got to put a team around me
Yeah.
Yeah.
because he's a young rising star.
Mm.
But what was your hot take?
I don't really.
You don't have a hot take?
I really don't. I think this playoffs is going to be dry. I mean, I think maybe the Lakers
I don't know.
get to the finals, but I mean, I just don't. I don't
I agree
see a
with that.
lot. I think the Celtics. I think it's going to be Celtics Thunder. I don't think it's going to be that.
So you
close
think
this
they're
year.
not going to win a game in the second round?
No.
He has
I
them
think
go
they're
to
going to the finals. I think it's disappointing if they don't make the finals.
I agree.
It is
For
disappointing.
OKC?
Yeah.
I mean, it depends on how you look at it, but I think if OKC has a chance, I mean, if they get to the Western Conference Finals, I don't think you can look at it and say, oh, it's a bad year.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
they're still young.
Yeah.
They're gonna have a
They're
lot
young.
more years
Yeah.
at doing it.
Yeah.
We'll find out.
Yeah.
But talking about a little bit about the UFC and other old heads in other sports, Alexander Volkanovski, he just recaptured the UFC featherweight championship from Diego Lopez, making him the oldest champion in UFC history. What other players right now? There's a lot of players in a lot of sports who have been dominating at an older ages. What player do you think? Like, which players had the most impressive season this year at a relatively older
First
age?
of all, talking about Volk, I didn't
Yeah.
like coming back from what he went through with Islam and those two. I mean, the knockouts were brutal, and then against not Islam, Taporia. Sorry, to come back and be now a UFC champion again at his age, it really is special.
Yeah.
It definitely is special. I thought Lopez isn't the best opponent. That division is pretty weak, but I mean, to do it again after those knockouts and those losses, I think that's impressive for Volk, for sure.
Yeah.
I didn't expect him to come back and win a championship.
Who else impresses you? What like, are there any other players who are hitting their 40s? You're like, man, it's
I mean-
unbelievable what they're doing.
Yeah.
You go first. Yeah.
I mean, one guy that I can think of right away is Chris Paul. I don't love him, but I
4
saw
years
the other
old,
day
yeah.
All 82
Yeah.
played
games.
82 games at 39 years old,
Yeah.
and I mean, he's just had a fantastic season. Also, I mean, you got to mention Goat James.
course.
When we talk about the oldest players ever, we got to mention Goat James
Oh,
as
yeah.
well.
100%,
So
100%.
I didn't even want to mention Braun because it's Braun.
Yeah,
It's just-
like-
but like
honestly.
KD's another one. Like he's creeping up there. I think he's at 37.
Because like,
Yeah.
you have like
I think-
Bron,
yeah.
Katie, and Steph. Like it's
Yeah.
at this point, it's not
Yeah.
even. They're just synonymous.
Yeah.
Longevity.
I think you have to mention Alexander Ovechkin too, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like breaking the hardest record. No one thought this record was ever going to be broken. He broke it. He's 40 years old. I mean, and he's talking. I mean, there was a really interesting debate going around. It was what's harder to do, LeBron to break Kareem's record or Ovechkin to beat Gretzky's? And I think
Oh, Ovechkin beat Gretzky's.
100%. And it's more taxing on the body. I mean, everyone's. I mean, I know like it was a huge debate with saying LeBron
Oh
saying
yeah,
all
to
these
do it at
shots,
that age, like basketball
100%.
and hockey is two completely different sports.
No,
100%.
The reason why I think that it's a lot harder for Ovechkin to break the record than it is for Braun to break Kareem's record is the fact that Ovi is one of the all-time leaders in hits. That's the body. We're
Yeah.
not talking about goals. That's
Yeah.
just a shot.
Yeah.
Talking about hits.
Yeah.
Physical. He's a physical man.
100%. And it's a record nobody ever thought it was even going to be touched, even like within 50 goals. And the fact that he broke it with the hits, like, it's pretty unbelievable.
It is. I think, like, low-key, he could have broken this record. Ovi could have broken the goals record a whole lot earlier because,
100%.
there was the lockout season. And then this year he missed a bunch of games because he got injured. And I kind of feel like he could have maybe gotten to like 920 or 930 this year.
100%.
Because like he's been on a roll this year.
Well, he's scoring in almost every game he plays in,
Exactly.
which is insane. But this begs the question, are we getting to the point where, technology and, facilities, like this is allowing players to play longer, or are these just unique players in every sport? Like you talk about Ronaldo and Messi in soccer, you talk about LeBron and Katie and Curry in basketball, you talk about Federer, Djokovic, Nadal in tennis. Are these just like one-of-a-kind players who are able to play until their, late 30s, 40s, or is it because of medicine? Is it because of the facilities? Is it because of technology that, we're going to start to see a lot of guys play later in their career?
I think it's kind of just the players. I think we're seeing a new era now, though. I think right now sports are kind of changing. Like UFC, for example, like a lot of these guys that were champions, like Adesanya, Usman. I mean, John Jones is still doing it, but he fights twice every 3 years. It's a lot of new faces.
I kind of think it goes like both hand in hand because you have like one-of-a-kind players like LeBron who is labeled the chosen one at a very young age, but did anyone actually think that he'd be playing at he's 40?
No. I mean,
he's dropping 40 at 40. I mean,
there's a couple of baseball players we can talk about, like Verlander. I think Verlander. I don't even know how old Verlander is, but he's still doing it.
He's
He's not as good at all. I mean, obviously,
I wish the Phillies were playing Verlander every day, or Scherzer or something. I think we'd tee off.
He's playing today, I think.
But it's interesting. I mean, a lot of these guys, I think you're right. I think it is unique players because you see a guy like Vince Carter. He was playing towards towards this era where technology was getting better, and he was playing till he was 40. But let's be honest, Vince Carter was not a good basketball player. He just wasn't. But like now you're seeing high level play out of older guys, and I don't think it's medicine. I think it's these players dedicating a lot to their sport and really making sure that they're in the best shape possible to compete.
I'm kind of going to go with because we're talking about hockey a little bit, I think a player that's been underrated, not necessarily a player, but a goalie is Jonathan Quick. He's 39.
100%.
He's on the Rangers and they've sucked this year. They have.
100%.
But he's been amazing as a 39-year-old. As a 39-year-old goalie. Like that's you're getting puck shot at you at 100 miles an hour, especially from Ovechkin with that huge slap shot that he has. It's tough to be a goalie in the NHL. It's very, very difficult, and to do what he's doing at this age, even though he's not at like the top of his game all time, he's been amazing. The Rangers.
Well, another keeper has been playing a long time, Marc-Andre Fleury, right? Obviously, he's going to hang it up after this. I mean, are the Wild even in the playoffs this year? I mean, they're trying to fight for a spot right now. It looks like they're not going to get in, but obviously, he's had a great career. He's older. There's a whole bunch of hockey players. Crosby's getting older. Malkin's getting older, and they're also playing at a high level. So it's interesting, even in a sport like hockey, where it's physically taxing, they're still being successful. What sport do you think it's the hardest in to have a longer career and a lot of longevity? Would you say it's hockey because of the physical tax?
I'd say football.
Football.
Well, I agree with football. I mean, you see a lot of guys retire at 33. I was thinking UFC, but I mean, a lot of these fighters, I mean, they come into their prime at like 30. So I mean, like. Football, most guys retire, unless you're a quarterback, they retire pretty early at like mid-30s.
Yeah, football is a very positional sport.
Yeah,
like you have
100%.
Brady who played till he was like 40, but then you have a bunch of these like offensive line, defensive line players that just get hit after hit after hit on the head. It's a bunch of CTE
100%.
going on.
But doesn't that make hockey a little bit harder to have a long career? Because I don't think football obviously, it's physically taxing, but I think it's like that one knockout injury. Like I feel like it's always the hit to the heads. I feel like hockey, like because you can play longer because there's not, it's just not supposed to be that dangerous.
Yeah.
Like you can have longer careers. I mean, I'd argue that hockey's like the hardest, right? I mean, you talk about Ovechkin, like all of these guys are getting drilled. I mean, a guy like Matt Rempe, he comes up and he doesn't even play hockey. He literally just there to fight. And he's drilling guys. I mean,
but you can say the same thing in football. I mean, you got 250-pound guys
100%.
smacking you every single play, especially if you're a running back. Like running backs don't cross really 30 sometimes.
I just think it's impressive across every sport when you see guys who are able to play till they're 40.
100%.
I mean, it's a dedication to the sport that not everyone has. So, but we want to thank you for tuning into 360 Sports today. We hope you enjoyed the show, and we'll see you next time.